Welcome back to my workshop. Now today we're going to talk about this. This is why you're obviously here. This is a Stanley Fatmax reciprocating saw and it's on the V20 battery platform. Now the reason I've got this is to replace this little fella that I've had quite a few years now. It's done a lot of work, but now it's time for an upgrade. Because I'm on the V20 battery platform, I've always got spare batteries. Right, what is this? Now this is the SFM CS300 D1K. Okay, now I'm obviously in the UK. This has cost me about £130. Okay, and I'll show you what you get with the kit. Okay, this is not just a body, this is a kit. Okay, let's get it out of the box. Okay, so what have we got here? We have got an SFM CS300 D1K Stanley Fatmax reciprocating saw. Okay, it's an 18 volt on the V20 lithium ion battery platform. Okay, this matches all the ones I've already got. Details on the box here. There's a little bit of information about the battery. 3000 SPM, which I presume is strokes per minute. It's tool-free change of the blade. We'll see how that works. And this kit comes with a 2 amp hour battery. Okay, so it looks like it comes with a battery, the body and the charger. Okay, the case it comes in is a usual blow molded case. Okay, quite sturdy. I keep all of my Stanley Fatmax tools in the case because they're quite handy and they fit well and they're quite durable as well. Okay, on the back is a little bit more about the battery. Case is sealed around the side here and this side here as well, so we'll have to cut that to get it out. And the usual on the top here, we've got a little cable tie which we'll need to cut. Right, let me get a knife and I can get it open. Okay, this time I'm actually going to use a Stanley knife, okay, rather than anything else. Here, just before I cut this, you get a 3-year guarantee. But you do have to register it online with My Stanley. Okay, you'll obviously get your usual consumer's guarantee. If you buy it from the shop and there's a problem, you can take it back. But if you register your tool with My Stanley online, okay, it doesn't cost you anything to do it. You then get your 3-year guarantee. Right, let's cut this open. Okay, on the other side, obviously it tells you the model and all that good stuff. Same again, let's get this open. A pair of side cutters to cut the little cable tie. One of them. Whee! Right. Let's get it out of the box. Okay. So that is what you get. Okay, as I say, it's quite a nice sturdy box. Metal clips, handle folds flat. You get your main body, your battery charger and your battery. All right, let's get this out. All right, so as well as the case, this is what you get in the case. You get the main body, you get a battery charger, you get a set of instructions, you get a guarantee, you get one 2 amp hour battery, and you get a single blade. Okay, what we'll do is we'll look at these one at a time. We'll start with the boring stuff, the guarantee and the user's manual. Right, as I've already said, you get a standard 1-year guarantee with all your Stanley Fatmax tools anyway. Okay, so you get that regardless of what you do. But if you register your Stanley Fatmax power tool within 4 weeks of purchase, then you get an extra 3 years warranty. So that's probably worth doing. All right, next is this, which is the Stanley Fatmax V20 lithium ion instruction book for this one, which is the SFM CS300. Okay, it's probably not going to tell you anything you don't know about the battery charger. It's got a light on the battery. This is how you insert the battery. This is how you release the battery. A couple of little accessories like a belt holder and how to change the blade. Okay, lots of words about how you use it, a bit of health and safety, So if you really want to know battery indication, what your battery charge is doing, and hopefully somewhere in here is some specs, which is good. All right, input voltage 18 volts, no load speed 0 to 3000, cutting capacity wood and steel, which is 300 and 100, stroke length 25.4 millimeters, and weight is 1.7 kilograms. Okay, then there's some information about the charger, some about the battery, and some about the sound. Okay, all of that stuff is all good reference, but you're probably never going to use it anyway. Right, so that's the boring instructions. What we got now is the charger. Let's have a close look at the charger. Okay, so this is the same as all the chargers you get when you buy a V20 kit. Okay, it's got indications here of what the actual lights mean. There's two lights here, okay, a red one and a green one. If the battery is charging, then that means the green one will flash. If it's fully charged, then the green one will be solid. And if there's a problem with temperature, or if there's an issue with the battery, then you'll get a red flashing light here. Okay, the plug I've got here is a UK standard 3-pin plug, because obviously I'm in the UK. The cable's wound up. Okay, let's have a quick measure. Obviously with a Stanley tape measure. Yeah, just over 1 metre. Yeah, that should be long enough. Right, on the back here, it obviously tells you the model number, which is an SFM-CB12 type 1, input 230 at 50 hertz, and it's great for the UK, half an amp. Okay, output 18 volts at 2 amps. Okay, there's two little lugs here. If you drill some holes in the wall, mount some screws, you can actually mount this on the wall, which would be quite handy. You can actually have that mounted on the wall, and then you can just slide your battery in. Okay, so that's how the battery goes in. It's got a release button here on the battery, which I'll show you in a second. Slide it in, it clicks into place. When you want to remove it, push the button and it pulls out. Okay, moving on to the battery. This is a 2 amp hour battery. Okay, it's got a battery indicator on it. It's only got 2 lights at the moment. Okay, so it gives you a maximum of 3. What else we got to say here? Release handle here. Okay, some information here. Manufacturing date. Okay, on here. That is what comes with it. Now, obviously, because I'm on the V20 range platform, I've obviously got these. This is a 4 amp hour battery, which is obviously twice as good as this. Okay, so it probably lasts twice as long. Design is exactly the same indication, same fitment, and this charger also accepts these batteries. Okay, so the reason I've stuck to the V20 platform is because obviously I've got a spare battery, but I've also got another 2 amp hour battery which I bought previously. But because I've got a few tools now, I've got another 4 amp hour. Oh, and another one. And another one. Another 2 amp hour battery. Another 4 amp hour battery. And another 4 amp hour battery. I've also got another battery on here. And I think I've got some more somewhere else. But I don't think I'm ever going to get a flat battery. Anyway, but this is the one that comes with it. So let's use that. Right, so before we start using this, to give it a fair crack of the whip, what we're going to do is to charge it. I've plugged this in. Let's see what it's got. Okay, we've got a green flashing light. That means it's charging. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll leave that to charge. I'll probably go and have a cup of tea, and then we'll start playing with it. But first of all, you want to see what we're playing with. Okay, so this is the main body. Okay, it's very comfortable by the feel of it. Okay, usual yellow Stanley Fatmax colour. Rubberized top, rubberized handle. Everywhere your hands touch is rubberized. Some grippy ribs here. Okay, it's quite fat around the middle here, but that's good. It's not too fat. Okay, let's have a look here. So it's just got again the model number and everything on the side here. Trigger here. Okay, won't work unless you push the safety catch here one way or the other. Okay. Okay, that's to stop you chopping your fingers off. This is obviously the business end where the tool goes in. Looks like it's a quick release. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a second. It's got the foot here, okay, which is pivoted. Okay, so when you're cutting something, you can actually rest on that, give you a much better cut. Not a lot else to see here, but this looks extremely like a DeWalt one. Okay, they're from the same family. Obviously, you've got the DeWalt, which is the professional level. Then you've got a Stanley Fatmax, which is the more of the DIY and sort of semi-professional. And then you've got the normal Black & Decker, which is the not so professional. Okay, but this feels good. And this is to replace this little fella. Okay, now I've had this for quite a few years now, but it's now doing some strange things. Okay, like you. Yeah, it's not so good, but this has done a hell of a lot of work. Okay, this is obviously from a different shop. Similar design. This one, okay, this one's slightly longer than this one. Very slightly heavier. Okay, but as I say, this has done a hell of a lot of work, but now I only have 2 batteries with that, and these are already past their sell-by date, and I'm having trouble getting new ones. Okay, so I'm upgrading to this one. Right, anything else we need to know here? If you look inside where the battery sits, okay, this is where the battery sits. If you look inside here, this is a manufacture date. You'll need that when you register your tool on the My Stanley website. Okay, as I say, this is where the battery mounts. So if we get our 2 amp hour battery, which is in the charger, just remove that. Okay, it slides from the front to the rear, clicks into place. Okay, you don't need to hammer it into place, you just push it into place. Okay, make sure you haven't got a blade in to start with. Okay, safety trigger, push the button. Okay, and that's basically what it does. This bit here reciprocates, in other words, it goes backwards and forwards, and you can use it as a saw. So we need something to put in here, so let's get a blade. But before we start playing around with this sharp end, let's take the battery out. So you push the button and slide it off. Okay. Right, let's put the charge on. Okay, as I say, in the kit you get this one single blade. Let's get it out of the packet. Okay, be careful, these will be sharp. Okay, this is actually a Stanley Fatmax blade. It's a bimetal blade. It looks quite a nice blade actually. Okay, you get that. Now this end here, which is the bit that actually goes into the saw, this looks like it's a standard fitment. Now I've got some other blades here. Okay, these all look like the same fitment. Let's have a close look. Yeah. Okay, so it's exactly the same. So in theory, this should fit. The hole's slightly bigger, but I don't think that's going to make any difference. Okay, so this is the Stanley blade. You can obviously get all different types of blade. You can get long ones for wood, smaller ones for metal. Okay, these are all work zone ones, but they all work quite well. And I've got some more here. There's some more metal ones. Okay, more long wood ones. Okay, so it looks like it's a standard fitment, so you're never going to get stuck having to buy specific Stanley blades. Okay, right, how do we fit this? Okay, so it slots in this end. If we can try and have a look here, get it in focus. Okay, you got a slot here that the blade actually sits into, and all you do is you release it by turning this. Okay, it's got a little knurled bit on the end here. You push that down. Okay, so turn it probably quarter of a turn. Okay, so the blade goes in, obviously with the pointy bits going down, slots in the slot. It won't go in until you actually turn that. Then it slots in, you release it, and it grips it fast. Okay, so it's a toolless change. That fits in there well. Let's just try one of the other blades while we're here. I've got this massive Clark's one here. Same thing, slot it in the hole, turn the handle, and it should pop in there. Did that pop in there? Yeah, that's in there. Okay, so you can have super long blades as well. Right, that's good, but we didn't come with that blade, we come with this one. So I shall use that for our first cut. Right, remember when you're changing a blade, always make sure the battery is removed, otherwise you might end up chopping your fingers off. Right, this is nearly charged, so let's get some wood. Right, so what do you really use a reciprocating saw for? Now, I tend to use them a lot for breaking up pallets, okay, because obviously we've got a wood stove and I do tend to burn pallets. So these are ideal for quickly cutting through pallets, but also for cutting like trees, anything that you don't really need a fine cut. I wouldn't rely on this for doing fine joinery, but anything where you just need to cut through a piece of wood, rather than using a handsaw, one of these is good. Now I've been using this one and it's been excellent. But now obviously we've got our new little baby here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly cut through a piece of tree, quite a thin piece of tree, then a thicker piece of tree, a piece of pallet wood, because obviously that's what I normally use it for. And also I've got here a piece of door frame. Now this is quite dense wood. Okay, so I'm going to quickly try and cut through a piece of that. Okay, so I think the battery's nearly charged. What I'll do is I'll use that, and I'll also try one of the 4 amp hour batteries to see how that fares. Okay, so first cut is going to be this little tweak here. Okay, I'm going to put them in my little vise here. Okay, that's sturdy enough. I might have to do this left-handed because the camera's in the wrong place. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Lovely job. Lovely. All right, so let's try something a little bit bigger. Okay, put that in here. Now, it did take its time getting through that, but it's done a fairly clean cut, and this is actually quite a dense wood, actually. Okay, happy with that. Right, what's next? I suppose let's chop up a bit of pallet. This has already been chopped, but we'll chop it again. Okay, so ideal for going through pallets. That went through that like a knife through butter. Okay, finally, this is our quite dense bit of door frame. Lovely job. It actually went through that easier than it went through this. Okay, doddle. Right, it cuts stuff. Okay, so it basically does what you would expect it to do. Okay, if you're doing rough cuts through trees or bits of door frame or, you know, sort of stud work or anything like that, this can be ideal because you don't have to do this with it. Okay, it does all the work for you. Just to prove a point, I'll get one of my 4 amp hour batteries, which has also only got 2 lights on it, just to make sure it actually works. Okay, that's in. Try again. Glasses on. Lovely. So you can use obviously the larger batteries with it. I would always recommend getting a large battery if you can. Okay, obviously dust extraction is non-existent. Yeah, so from those couple of cuts there, we've got all this sawdust here, it's all over here. Okay, this is not designed to be used with any sort of extraction at all. This is a rough site or rough work tool. Okay, so you wouldn't expect it to be fantastic with dust extraction. Right, I think that'll do. Right, so that's about it. It was a quick look at this now. I could cut wood all day long, but you get the idea. If you want one of these, you'll know what it's capable for. You know what you want to use it for. As I say, this is the SFM CS 300D1K. I'm in the UK. This cost me about £130. Now, I've seen it range anywhere between £109 for this kit up to £210. Okay, so there are deals to be made. Places like Toolstation tend to have some good deals. And you get obviously the carry case, the main body, a blade, a 2 amp hour battery, a battery charger and some paperwork. Okay, I think it's definitely worth it. I'm going to use this, it's going to replace this, and I'm sure I'm going to be happy with it. Now, if you like this review on the V20 range, I've done a number of other videos. You'll find them all in this playlist here. Okay, I'm not sponsored by Stanley. All of this is at my own expense, but there's some good information there. I'm on the battery platform, so I'm never going to have problems with batteries. Okay, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Here you go. Okay, so what do we have here? Now, as I say, this is the SFMC. Do you know what? I can't read that. If you sign up for the Stanley Fatmax, but if you register your